Is the story of how I managed to find Barry's prison run. Now, as you can see, we are currently in the Minecraft dimension, which means that I didn't really expect to see anything crazy or anything wonderful in this world. But as luck would have it, I actually managed to find something pretty crazy in this world, and you're probably wondering how on earth it even happened. Well, I was in this village and I was doing some traditional exploring. Now, somehow, I got really lucky and managed to find a diamond shovel. Now, because I was super lucky, I decided that why not do some digging, and trust me, this digging was going to come in the future because dirt is a very valuable resource, especially amongst Minecraft poorest villagers. But that's not what we were here for. We were here for something pretty crazy. I managed to find something pretty cool. As you can all see, while I was digging around, I noticed that there was concrete. Now, this wasn't the kind of concrete that you usually find. It was a strange amount of cobblestone that someone else placed. I definitely was quite confused as to who managed to place this, but then I was even more confused as to what I was looking at. It said, "Wanted. Police officer turned rogue." This definitely did scare me quite a bit because I was quite confused as to what this happened to this police officer and who he was. Now, at first, I definitely didn't know who he was, and even the guards started to attack me, so I knew I definitely was in some danger. But at the same time, I knew that it was likely that the character that I had found was Barry's prison run. Now, it definitely was quite scary because I didn't really realize exactly what was going on, but at that time, I knew I needed to figure out how I was going to actually solve the solution. So I needed to make these villagers stop attacking me, and I had to do that with a very, very smart way. I had to get them trapped in some kind of hole and also make sure that they were going to die. But this was what my main concern was. It said "Wanted, police officer that had gone rogue," and I still couldn't figure out where on earth this police officer was until I realized where the guards had come from. So the villager guards had actually come from the secret base down there, and I was guessing that that was where Barry's prison run was actually, and I'm guessing his prison was very, very secret down there. After defeating the guards, I realized that something good was going to happen. I knew that the guards had actually heard my cry. I told them I wasn't someone that knew exactly where prison Barry was, but I knew that Barry's prison was definitely somewhere that I needed to explore, figuring out exactly what he was up to. I didn't know exactly what he was going to be up to since I've only seen a few adventures of Barry's prison run, but I just knew that if this guard did find you, then you were certainly going to be in some kind of trouble. So I decided to see the villagers and ask them exactly what was going on because I genuinely had no idea and I needed to figure out exactly how I could master it going down there. So I spoke to one villager and he said, "Hello, we haven't been inside there and we only know that it is a person. We are not sure as to what kind of person is down there." So it definitely was interesting that the villagers didn't really know what kind of person was down there, but somehow they've managed to get a picture of Barry's prison right there. So now I knew exactly what I was looking for. I was looking for a person with a blue police cap, a very nice torch, and of course a very nice big stomach. Now Barry is quite the character. He's quite the overweight character, quite a big fella, and I knew I was going to have to look for him in some way, shape or form. Now then, I decided to speak to the other villager and he told me some other things. And he told me a very similar description. He said, "I saw a man in a blue shirt take some villagers. We need some of them back." So I was guessing that somehow Barry had somehow made a portal to this kind of dimension, and it looks like Barry had somehow got himself somewhere down into this dimension. So it was time for me to go inside the secret base and see exactly what had actually happened and how Barry had managed to make his secret prison in here. So whilst going down, I knew that the secret base, the interior, was actually pretty nice. I did notice two crazy things. I noticed that one of the things said "Welcome to Barry's prison," and another thing actually was quite interesting. This was truly scary because what I was looking at was a Roblox character. Now, I didn't know what kind of Roblox character this was, but upon further inspection, I realized that this was some kind of noob. Now, noobs in Roblox are many, many different kinds, but I knew that if this was some kind of noob, I had to figure out exactly what he was up to. So I decided that I might as well see exactly how tall this noob was. And to my surprise, this noob was very, very short. I was thinking, what on earth is going on? This noob is so small and so much shorter than me. How on earth did he even manage to get into this world? And that's when I saw more images of Barry's prison run. It definitely was quite scary, but I knew at the same time that I needed to get out of here if I was going to get these villagers out of here somehow. So I decided to see exactly what this noob was saying, and he told me something very interesting. He said, "I narrowly escaped. don't go in there. You never know what you may find. It definitely was quite scary because I didn't know exactly how to go inside there, and I knew that if I was going to go inside there, I definitely could be in a very dangerous position. So I decided to talk to some more people and read the signs. It said anyone who is not sent to prison is not allowed to leave, sadly. So that meant that somehow people were actually going inside the prison, and I guess that somehow, somewhere, they were being stored in there. Next, I could see a wanted list that said Villager Mike, Steve, and Mary were all wanted. It then said that they were wanted for making bad potions, wanted for stealing crops, and wanted for stealing emeralds. Then I looked inside the chest to see exactly what was there, and I couldn't really see much, and the game just kind of glitched, which definitely spooked me out a bit. Maybe it was an anti-defense feature, because of course I wasn't really supposed to be touching these chests, so I was guessing that because I touched them, somehow Barry had realized and had destroyed them. I knew that I was going up against someone pretty dangerous, and with only my diamond shovel armed, I decided that I might as well go up. Now, the Roblox character that did tell me that I should be very careful, and of course, whilst going up the stairs, I was definitely quite scared to go upstairs. So, as you could all see right here, it said danger level 100, and this definitely was quite scary, because it meant that some of these villagers had a danger level of 100. Now, 100 is most likely going to be the highest level, so I knew that I better not let any of these ones out. They also said, be very, very careful, which meant that I'm guessing that some of these villagers could have attacked me, and I was very, very scared of them doing that. Now, the interior of this prison definitely was quite scary, because I didn't know exactly where Prison Barry was, or what exactly he could be doing. He could be hiding, he could be waiting for me, he could be building a trap downstairs, and I honestly had no idea. So I knew I needed to go back upstairs and figure out exactly on earth what I was doing. The next thing I needed to do was to figure out exactly what was going on. At the second level of the house, I knew that there was something strange, because when I spoke to the villagers on the second level, something weird had happened. One of the villagers actually had a very big hole in the area, and I think that the villager was actually starting his escape. Somehow, one of the villagers decided that enough was enough, and he wanted to escape Prison Barry's warehouse. That's when I knew things were about to take a radical change. He was clearly wanting to escape the place, so I decided to talk to him to see exactly what he said. He said hello, and please help us. I was guessing that the other villager also said the same, because he gave me the same kind of look. So I knew that this was very, very serious. What I wanted to do most of all was I wanted to find out exactly where Prison Barry was. I wasn't exactly sure what he was up to or what he was doing, but I knew that I needed to get to the bottom of this as soon as possible. So I decided to go up to the second level just to give it a sneak peek, and to my surprise, I actually managed to find the culprit himself. It definitely was quite scary to see, but somewhere behind the glass, I could see Prison Barry just chilling there. Now, I wasn't exactly sure what he was doing at this time, but I did actually make a big mistake. You see, one of the mistakes I made was that I wasn't quite about my approach. I read the sign that said Prison Barry's office, and when I looked at him, he wasn't actually looking at me. I was guessing that he was looking out at the view that he had built for himself inside the prison. What I should have actually done, the mistake I did make also, was that I broke the glass and actually tried to steal some of his items. And just like that, his guard was raised, and of course, as you guys can see, everything started to crumble. Because of course, from the moment I went in there, this happened now. As you can all see, Prison Barry decided that he was going to chase me all the way down. It definitely was quite a scary experience, because I didn't expect him to run all the way downstairs and start to attack me. What was even scarier was that he actually managed to break the door, and he did stop to actually hit the other Roblox character. Now, what was even scarier was that at nighttime, his eyes started to glow as if there was some kind of strange thing going on. Now, he even chased me out into the village, but this was part of the plan. Although I was quite scared because he did have the Herobrine eyes, I knew that somehow I was going to build a trap. Now, of course, somehow, Prison Barry had actually glitched me, and my hand had a very strange digger tool attached to it. So all I had to do when Prison Barry was actually chasing me was I had to make some kind of hole. All I had to do was left click a bunch of times, and then Prison Barry should theoretically fall inside the hole, and that's exactly what happened. Now, the problem is that the holes weren't very, very smart. As you guys can see here, I was able to get the dirt from my inventory and actually build this back up. But unfortunately for me, I did actually make one fatal mistake. I did make one fake slip, and I nearly died. Now, Prison Barry definitely, because it definitely looked as if he had been possessed by Herobrine, and I wasn't sure exactly where he had come from. And out of the blue, he just disappeared, and he was never seen from again.